Your Border Collie is staring at you right now with those intense eyes, and you might think they're just being their usual focused self. But what if I told you that some of the everyday things you're doing are actually driving your Border Collie absolutely crazy? Border Collies aren't like other dogs. They're the Einstein of the canine world, bred for over a century to work alongside shepherds in the Scottish Highlands. And that incredible intelligence comes with some very specific likes and dislikes that most owners completely miss. Today, we're diving deep into the 14 things your Border Collie secretly hates. And number 1, it's probably something you're doing right now without even realizing it. Stick around because understanding these pet peeves could transform your relationship with your brilliant Border Collie. Let's jump right in. Number 14, inconsistent routines. Your Border Collie hates unpredictability. I'm talking truly hates it. Unlike some breeds that go with the flow, Border Collies are creatures of precise routine. They were bred to work the same fields with the same handlers, following the same patterns day after day. That genetic wiring doesn't just disappear because they're living in your home instead of on a farm. When you feed them at 7 a.m. one day and 10 a.m. the next, or when you randomly skip their evening walk, you're not just inconveniencing them. You're creating genuine stress. Their internal clock is incredibly precise, and they're literally counting down the minutes to their scheduled activities. Your Border Collie wants to know that dinner happens at 6 p.m., walks happen at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., and training time is at 7 p.m. every single day. Create a schedule and stick to it, and you'll notice your Border Collie becomes noticeably calmer and more content. Number 13, being ignored when they're trying to communicate. Border Collies have something called the eye. It's that famous intense stare they use to control sheep. And when your Border Collie is using that stare on you, they're not just spacing out, they're communicating. Your Border Collie hates when they're trying to tell you something, and you're scrolling through your phone, watching TV, or just not paying attention. They might be telling you it's time for their walk, that their water bowl is empty, or that something's not right in the backyard. These dogs were bred to work in partnership with humans, reading tiny signals and responding instantly. They expect the same level of communication from you. When you ignore their attempts to communicate, it's incredibly frustrating for them. Start paying attention to what your Border Collie is trying to tell you. Is that stare accompanied by a glance toward the door, the leash, their food bowl? They're not being needy. They're being the communicative, intelligent working dog they were bred to be. Number 12, lack of mental stimulation. Here's the thing about Border Collies. They don't just need exercise. They need jobs. Real jobs. Your Border Collie hates lying around with nothing to do. And I'm not talking about being bored for an hour. I'm talking about that soul-crushing lack of purpose when they've got one of the most powerful brains in the dog world and nothing to use it on. A tired Border Collie isn't just a physically exercised Border Collie, it's a mentally exhausted one. You can walk your Border Collie for 5 miles, and if you haven't challenged their brain, they'll still be bouncing off the walls at home. They need puzzle toys, training sessions, scent work, agility courses, or actual jobs like fetching the newspaper or helping you sort laundry. Yes, you can teach your Border Collie to sort laundry by color. They're that smart. Without mental stimulation, your Border Collie doesn't just hate their day. They'll start inventing their own jobs, and trust me, you won't like the jobs they choose. Like reorganizing your garden. One plant at a time. Number 11, chaotic environments. Your Border Collie hates chaos and disorder. They're not party animals. Border Collies are sensitive souls with finely tuned nervous systems. They notice everything. Every movement, every sound, every person entering the room. In a working environment, this makes them incredible at their jobs. In a chaotic household with screaming kids, loud music, and constant unpredictability, it makes them stressed. When you have a house full of guests, your Border Collie isn't being antisocial by retreating to another room. They're overwhelmed. Too many stimuli, too many unpredictable movements, too much noise. They prefer calm, controlled environments where they can predict what's going to happen next. This doesn't mean you can't have guests over, but it does mean you should provide your Border Collie with a quiet space to retreat to when things get too hectic. Number 10, repetitive, mindless fetch. Wait, what? Border Collies love fetch, right? Wrong. Well, partially wrong. Your Border Collie hates mindless, repetitive fetch where you just throw the same ball the same way 50 times in a row. See, Border Collies were bred to solve complex problems. They had to figure out how to move stubborn sheep through difficult terrain, anticipate where the sheep would go, and work independently to make decisions. Throwing a ball in a straight line over and over, that's insulting to their intelligence. They want fetch with variation. Throw the ball left, then right, then short, then long. Hide it and make them search. Teach them to retrieve specific toys by name. Make them work for it. Border Collies don't just want to chase, they want to think, strategize, and problem solve. Give them fetch games that challenge their incredible minds, not just their legs. Number 9, being treated like a lapdog. Your Border Collie is not a lapdog, and they hate being treated like one. Now, this doesn't mean Border Collies don't love affection. They absolutely do. But they want affection on their terms, and they want it to be earned through partnership and work, not just given freely while they're sprawled across your lap for hours. Border Collies are working dogs. They want to be your partner, your colleague, your teammate, not your stuffed animal. When you try to constantly cuddle them, hold them, or restrict their movement for extended periods, you're going against every fiber of their being. They'll tolerate it because they love you, but deep down, they'd much rather be working alongside you, solving problems together, and earning that affection through accomplishment. Give them physical affection as a reward after training sessions or work. And you'll notice they're much more receptive and relaxed about it. Number 8, other dogs with no manners. Here's something Border Collie owners know all too well. Your Border Collie hates rude, uncontrolled dogs. Border Collies are precise, controlled, and calculated in everything they do. When they meet another dog that's jumping all over them, invading their space, and acting completely out of control, it's not just annoying. It's genuinely upsetting. Your Border Collie is thinking, why aren't you controlling your movements? Why aren't you reading my signals? Don't you understand basic canine etiquette? This is why Border Collies often do better with other herding breeds or well-trained dogs of any breed. They want playmates who understand boundaries, respect personal space, and engage in controlled play. At the dog park, watch your Border Collie. They're probably not running around like a maniac. They're observing, calculating, and choosing their interactions carefully. That overly enthusiastic golden retriever crashing into everyone, your Border Collie is judging them hard. Number 7, being left alone for long periods. Border Collies hate being alone, and this goes way beyond typical separation anxiety. These dogs were bred to work in constant partnership with a shepherd. All day, every day. Their entire genetic makeup is wired for collaboration and constant human interaction. When you leave your Border Collie alone for 8, 9, or 10 hours while you're at work, you're not just leaving them without company. You're denying them their fundamental purpose in life. This is when destructive behaviors start, not because they're bad dogs, but because they're desperately trying to cope with the stress of being isolated from their partner. That's you. If you work long hours, your Border Collie needs a dog walker, doggy daycare, or a pet sitter who can break up their day. They need interaction, stimulation, and partnership. Without it, they're not just bored, they're suffering. Number 6, unclear commands and expectations. Your Border Collie hates when you're not clear about what you want. Remember, these dogs can learn over 1,000 words. They can distinguish between dozens of different toys by name. They can follow complex, multi-step commands. But they can only do this if you're consistent and clear. When you say down to mean lie down one day and get off the couch the next day, you're creating massive confusion for a dog that's desperately trying to understand and follow your instructions. Border Collies want to please you. They want to get it right. When you're unclear or inconsistent with your commands, they're not being stubborn. They're genuinely confused about what you're asking. Be specific. Be consistent. Use the same words for the same actions every single time. Your Border Collie will respect you more, listen better, and be significantly less stressed when they know exactly what you expect. Number 5, being confined to small spaces. Your Border Collie hates being trapped in small spaces with no room to move or think. These dogs were bred to run across vast hillsides, covering miles of terrain every single day. Their ideal working environment is wide open space, where they can see for miles and move freely. When you confine your Border Collie to a small apartment with no yard, or worse, crate them for extended periods without proper exercise and mental stimulation, you're creating a pressure cooker situation. Now, I'm not saying Border Collies can't live in apartments. They absolutely can. But they need extensive daily exercise, multiple walks, trips to open spaces like parks or fields, and plenty of mental stimulation to compensate for the lack of space. A Border Collie that feels trapped will find ways to cope, and those ways usually involve destroying your belongings, excessive barking, or developing anxiety-related behaviors. Give them space to move, space to think, and space to be the wide-ranging working dog they were born to be. Number 4. Loud, sudden noises. Border Collies have incredibly sensitive hearing and nervous systems, and they hate loud, sudden noises. We're talking fireworks, thunderstorms, vacuum cleaners, blenders, and even you yelling across the house. These dogs are so finely tuned to their environment that sudden loud noises don't just startle them. They can genuinely trigger stress responses. You might notice your Border Collie becomes anxious on the 4th of July or during thunderstorms. This isn't them being dramatic. Their sensitive hearing picks up frequencies and volumes that are genuinely overwhelming. The constant vigilance they maintain, always scanning their environment for changes, means loud noises feel like alarm bells going off in their highly alert minds. Create safe spaces for your Border Collie during loud events. Use white noise machines, close curtains, and give them a quiet room where they can retreat. Don't force them to get over it or expose them repeatedly to loud noises thinking they'll adapt. You're just creating more stress. Number 3, lack of purpose or job. We touched on this earlier, but it deserves its own spot because it's that important. Your Border Collie hates feeling purposeless. And this is different from just being bored or lacking mental stimulation. This is about their fundamental identity as a working dog. Border Collies were bred with one goal in mind: to work. Not to look pretty, not to be companions, but to perform specific, valuable jobs. When they don't have a job, they experience something close to an existential crisis. This is why you see so many Border Collies in agility competitions, search and rescue, service dog work, and competitive obedience. These aren't just hobbies for them. These are purposes, jobs, reasons to exist. Your Border Collie needs a job. It doesn't have to be herding sheep. It can be learning new tricks every week, competing in dog sports, working as a therapy dog, or even helping you with household tasks. But they need something that makes them feel valuable and useful. Give your Border Collie a purpose, and you'll see a complete transformation in their behavior, happiness, and overall well-being. Number 2, ineffective or meaningless training. Your Border Collie hates training that wastes their time. These dogs learn new commands in under 5 repetitions. They're working at a level that most dog breeds can't even comprehend. So when you spend 20 minutes trying to teach them to sit when they learned it in 30 seconds, you're not being thorough. You're being boring. Border Collies hate training that doesn't challenge them. They hate repetitive drills of things they've already mastered. They hate when you treat them like they're not as smart as they actually are. They want advanced training, complex sequences, problem-solving challenges. They want to learn the names of all their toys, then retrieve specific ones on command. They want to learn to open doors, turn off lights, and fetch specific items from other rooms. Stop drilling basic commands your Border Collie learned a year ago. Start challenging that incredible brain with advanced tricks, complex task training, and real problem-solving work. Your Border Collie will thank you by being more engaged, more focused, and more fulfilled. Number 1, being forced to do nothing. Here it is. The number 1 thing your Border Collie hates, and it's probably happening right now in your house. Your Border Collie hates being forced to do nothing. Just existing. Just lying there. Just being a pet. This is the thing most people don't understand about Border Collies. They're not dogs who are happy to just hang out. They're not built for leisure. They're not wired for relaxation. When you're sitting on the couch watching TV for 3 hours and expecting your Border Collie to just lie there quietly beside you, you're asking them to go against every single instinct in their body. They want to be doing something, learning something, working on something, solving something every single minute. This doesn't mean you can't have downtime with your Border Collie, but it does mean you need to teach them an off-switch command that signals it's okay to relax. And even then, that downtime needs to come after significant mental and physical work. The Border Collie lying on your couch right now isn't resting contentedly. They're waiting, watching, looking for the next opportunity to engage their mind and body. And when that opportunity doesn't come, that's when the stress builds. Give your Border Collie something to do. Always. If they've been worked properly, they'll settle. But they need that work first, every single day. So there you have it. The 14 things your Border Collie secretly hates. And if you're being honest, you're probably guilty of at least a few of these. The good news? Now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Border Collies are incredible dogs. They're loyal, intelligent, driven, and capable of amazing things. But they're not for everyone. And they're definitely not a breed you can treat like a typical pet. If you want a happy Border Collie, you need to respect their needs, challenge their minds, give them purpose, and treat them like the working partners they were bred to be. What surprised you most on this list? Is your Border Collie showing signs of hating any of these things? Drop a comment below and let me know which one resonated most with you and your Border Collie. If you found this helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more breed-specific content that'll help you understand your dog on a deeper level. And if you own a Border Collie or are thinking about getting one, check out our next video where we cover the 10 things Border Collies absolutely love. Because yes, despite being picky, perfectionist working dogs, they do actually love some things. A lot. Thanks for watching, and remember, a Border Collie isn't just a pet. They're a partner. Treat them like one,